If you had to put up a matrimonial ad for the following characters, what would it say? Vicky Arora.
Matrimonial ad? High sex drive. What else? Vicky Arora is like full of testosterone. Like works out 2 hours a day. Whatever, I don't know.
Okay, Mudit Sharma.
Diagonally opposite. He's not Vicky Arora. Used to be Vicky Arora. I don't know.
Hello and welcome, and congratulations. Since 2017, I can say you've been on a roll. So now literally it's like when you say Ayushmann's doing a film, so the critics and the audience is like, it's all cool. So does that get a little overwhelming?
It does. Yeah? It's very surreal at the same time, but it's a happy expectation, I think, that you are expecting something out of the film, and that was my aspiration also. I remember once my mentor, Aditya Chopra, told me that you should do films and people should look forward to your films. Okay, what does that mean? So now I get to know that it means this.
You remember there was a line in a Hindi film which went, "Aap top ho, janta ki hope ho." So I mean, it's like literally like that now.
I don't know. I just follow my gut and intuition. I really don't know. It's just that earlier I used to just believe in projects. I used to go for big names, but I think it really doesn't matter. Whoever is producing or directing, the story matters the most. The script is the most important thing in a film.
And you had said earlier also you approach your film as a layperson would. Is there a difference between Ayushmann the actor and his approach as an audience, or they're both very similar?
I will always approach a film as an audience, because as an actor, as a star, you'll only think about yourself. You have that obsessive nature which overpowers you when you're thinking about your character. So for me, I think I'll put the script as a pedestal and then think about my character. It's not the other way around.
But a lot of people feel that they don't need critical acclaim, and that doesn't matter. It's the box office that gives them validation. In your case, what is it?
Before Andhadhun and Badhai Ho, my entire filmography depended on the critical acclaim, because critical acclaim gives the word of mouth. So for me, critics matter a lot. They have made my films, and it'll always matter, because I always do that middle of the road cinema where it's the good collaboration of critical and commercial success.
Which is true. And like with Andhadhun, I mean, Dhoom Macha Di and Badhai Ho was literally Badhai Ho. Were you anticipating like the success and the response?
I was of course anticipating good critical acclaim for Andhadhun and a decent box office success, but the kind of success we've been seeing in China is like remarkable. Like it was unheard of, like crossing 300 crores for a film like Andhadhun. And Badhai I was always confident about that it'll cross 100 crores. Yeah.
So now we are talking about Article 15. You shot this film in like 30 days. I remember the announcement, you were shooting and it was done. Now you're all set to release the movie. Apparently you wanted to do this film.
Yeah, because Anubhav sir, he offered me a rom-com. And I was like, I want to do something hard, like hard-hitting. And this is something that's very close to my heart. It's like a passion project, because I'm not thinking about commercial gains. I'm not thinking about the opening of the film. This is a film which is socially relevant. It needs to be put out there, and it is one of the most important films, I think.
And you've always wanted to do content, that socially responsible content, because of also given your background. But a subject like this, we used to hear about casteism, in the 60s and the 70s you had movies. But lately all that came, I think cinema started ignoring it, but we used to see it in the news.
Yeah.
But it's rampant in the rural areas now. In the urban discourse, not so. So what are you trying to say vis-a-vis this song?
So Article 15, it's again an outsider's perspective towards like rural area. This guy is from Delhi, studied abroad, gets posted in a rural area and gets shocked. There's one scene in the trailer where he goes like, what the is happening here? So that's his reaction. He couldn't really relate to the entire milieu and the situation in that remote town. So the idea is to just, there are a lot of privileged class people who think that this doesn't exist anymore. It's like this ostrich mindset, but it happens everywhere.
So do you think movies like this would help, and we need more movies like that on the social discourse?
To begin with, it's a good conversation starter. It will trigger a certain conversation, but I don't know what kind of change will happen like right now. It's going to take a lot of time, because India is a young country. We're 70 years old, and we've been facing this situation since time immemorial. So we will take some time to get rid of this situation.
And also, I mean, I remember once you were saying that your dad's an astrologer. So ever did he make the prediction like, "Beta hamara bada naam karega"?
I have no idea. I don't ask him. But yeah, there was this time in 2012 when 2006, after my college, that he wanted me to just go out and go to Bombay. He packed my bags. He thought that was the best time to get out of Chandigarh because I was a very laid back guy. I'm not that guy anymore because of my practice also at the same time. But I was very laid back. Throughout my radio thing in Delhi, Chandigarh, I was doing theatre. And like a theatre wala, like, okay, let's do plays, I'll do theatre, do radio, around, I'll stay in Chandigarh. I didn't have any ambition. But he was the one who instilled ambition in me. I don't know about astrology, but he was like my guru.
You've also had your times, and I remember that project that you had done, Hawai Zada, and it was, how do you maintain your calm and know that there is light at the end of the tunnel? Because a lot of people do give up halfway.
Things changed 2.5 years back. You also know that I practice vigilant Buddhism, and it really helped me a lot to maintain my calm, sanity, and also ambition at the same time. It gives you that power, that clarity in life. And of course, if you are working 24/7 and you're living out of a suitcase, you are unable to strike that balance between your personal and professional life, then you need some kind of external force to keep you sane, and that gives me sanity. But at the same time, I've got different perspective towards the industry because I've also reviewed films, I've also interviewed actors, and sitting on the other side makes me feel surreal and makes me more equipped to deal with certain situations.
What is the most underrated and overrated thing about the industry, since you've been on both sides?
Underrated thing? That you can't have like golgappas at a tea stall. But why do you want to have golgappas at a tea stall?
What would you rather have than at the tea stall?
मतलब बाहर बैठ के क्यों खाना आपको? मतलब आराम से आपने इसलिए इतनी मेहनत की है कि आप आराम से बैठकर खाओ और you enjoy your life. But that's the underrated thing. They just I don't know. A lot of actors, they say that I don't have time to do that, do this. But I think it's a beautiful life. You're following your craft, you're following your passion, you're reaping all the benefits. What else do you need? You should be just, your heart should be full of gratitude, nothing else.
And what's the most overrated thing?
Overrated thing? I think the entire circus of glitz and glamour is very overrated because you are 24/7 working.
And also, as an actor, what's your method? I mean, can you slip in and out of characters easily, or do some characters like stay with you and you're like, some need to go for therapy and get out of it?
No, I can switch on and switch off very easily. I'm blessed like that. I don't carry the character home. I can shoot for one film right now and start another character tomorrow.
Wow.
But with a film like Article 15, it was a little difficult because there was no scope for improvisation. This is not me. I think I'm quite... This is the first time playing a man in a film.
What were you playing before
boyish.
that? Yeah. Okay.
Man in the sense, the guy who's in control of the situation, like who's not a victim of circumstance. So in this one, I'm the master of circumstance. I'm trying to take control. This is the first time trying to take control. Otherwise, things are happening to me.
And you're loving it.
In like other films. So this is a more mature character. Playing a cop for the first time.
So what was that like, getting into, I mean, I remember a lot of us did those stories, Ayushmann playing a cop for the first time. Was there any actor whose style you wanted to emulate, or was it just like your own observations of...
My observations of real life cops. There's one person called Mr. Manoj Malviya, stays in Delhi. He's a senior IPS officer. So he's a friend of mine. So I've been observing him for the past 5 years. So I've emulated his body language, in fact, in the film.
And also, I mean, you have pushed boundaries and the envelope. Now, after this, you go into Shubh Mangal Savdhan Zyada. I mean, that's also another character you haven't done before. So, how, as you said, you choose your films on the basis of your gut reaction and all. But is this just the kind of cinema you want to do? Because a lot of your colleagues want to do a typical masaledar movie also, thoda sa hatke.
I've been a huge fan of masala movies also. Like I've grown up watching 90s films. So, would love to do that as well, but at the same time, it should be different. The script should have certain novelty, some spunk. Otherwise, what's the point? I always look out for that germ, which is like different and which has never been achieved earlier in the Indian cinema.
So with Shubmangal Savdan Zyada, we'll see something different?
Of course.
Vicky
That's
Fo-
going to be crazy. Because in the commercial realm and sphere of mainstream cinema, that gay film is really important,
It is
which
so.
deals with homosexuality.
Also, I mean, you're a family of talented people. There's your brother, there is your wife. What is a normal day like in that household with so many creative people? I mean, somebody would imagine everyone's playing a character or
I
something.
just crave for like a normal day, household day. As of now, I'm just shooting 24/7. Yeah, we discuss films like normal families do. Like, we're not obsessed with films. We're obsessed with life. It's very important to live your life.
Yeah.
You can't be really obsessing over your work all the time. So if you have to become a better artist, you need to cherish life.
Since your movie is about discrimination, have you ever been discriminated and been, you know?
Not in India, being part of the so-called privileged class and born with a silver spoon, but lived in a protected environment. So there was no discrimination as such. But of course, when you go abroad, being a brown guy, maybe you get discriminated at times. But no, but of course, after reading a lot of literature about Dalits or getting exposed to certain sections of society, and then you start empathizing with them. So it was an evolution. I'm still learning, you know, about casteism or reservation. You know, I need to learn more, and I've learned a lot while doing this film.
Mention 5 statements that are usually made. What do you think people should respond to when they are, you're not fair enough, you're too dark? What should that person say? What advice would you give that person? A repartee. I can't give you the job because you're too dark.
I think you should not actually work with that person at all. That person should be like, मैं तेरे साथ काम नहीं करना चाहती, तू क्या करना चाहता है? मतलब it's like, it should be like that. It should be the other way around. In the film that I'm doing, Bala, in that film, Bhumi's character is dark-skinned, and it's a very relevant subject again. I am the guy who's suffering with receding hairline. She's the one who's dark, and we have our own complexes. So we figure that space there.
I mean, I'll ask you, what are the 5 things that irk you that Indians discriminate against, that they should not, they should stop doing it?
One is dark skin. Second is judging you by your like choice of meal. Like, we have vegetarian and non-vegetarians both in our family, you know, but we still discriminate in our family also.
हाँ, घास फूस क्यों खा रहे हो?
हाँ, घास फूस क्यों खा रहे हो? जिम जाया करो, मतलब जिम में बॉडी कैसे बनेगी अगर आप नॉन वेज नहीं खाओगे तो. So it's like that. It always happens. Number 3 could be discrimination on the lines of, there are so many issues like height, weight, everything. Like, we are just obsessed with beauty. Like, India is such a country, you get every skin color, every skin tone in this subcontinent. That never happens anywhere else in the world. Like, originally born Indians, but we still have different skin tones, different personalities. Like, this is the only country where you have like cold desert and hot desert also at the same time. You have beaches, mountains, everything. That's why it's called a subcontinent. So that's how we're discriminated on different platforms also.
So before we wrap up, if you had to put up a matrimonial ad for the following characters, what would it say? Vicky Arora.
Matrimonial ad? High sex drive. What else? Vicky Arora is like full of testosterone. Like, works out 2 hours a day. Whatever, I don't know.
Okay, Mudit Sharma.
Diagonally opposite. He's not Vicky Arora. Used to be Vicky Arora. I don't know.
Nakul Kaushik.
Nakul Kaushik. The Vicky sperm comes from the father. Father is, but that could be Likoni. Nakul Kaushik. He's the most sensible guy in the family, I think.
So that would be the matrimonial ad, okay. Chirag Dubey.
A loser poet.
कोई लड़की नहीं मिलेगी उसको.
नहीं मिलेगी उसे.
प्रेम प्रकाश.
Loser. Or the first order.
You basically have told everybody other than Vicky Arora, none of your characters are worth like getting
because they're imperfect, na? I love playing imperfect characters. Like, Vicky Arora was more than perfect. Mudit was a perfect guy, but he had like physical imperfections. Prem Prakash Tiwari, he was complete loser. Like, first half, he was so despicable. Like, he was body shaming his wife. So yeah. This guy is perfect. This is first time playing a perfect guy, by the way.
So everybody, please, we have to watch this film since he's playing the perfect guy. And
Yeah.
he says he's playing a man. Thank you so much. And since you're speaking to good times, what's your idea for good time? Now, after like back-to-back successes, box office ka king, ab kya hai idea for good time?
Good Times gives me courage to do a film like Article 15. I had like really good times in 2017 and 18, and I wish that permeates into Article 15 also and its success.
Thank you so much, and
Thank
all
you
the
so
very
much.
best. More power to
Thank
people
you,
like
thank you, thank you.